Rawr. Rebirth. Rawr. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest film from director Gareth Edwards. Okay, guys, we're into the 7th film of this franchise for whatever reason. Jurassic World Rebirth is a almost reboot of the entire franchise. It actually gets rid of every single character outside of some references and shows us a world where dinosaurs, unlike Jurassic World Dominion, have kind of started to fall off the face of the earth. The reason for that is very scientifical when it comes to our planet can't sustain dinosaurs, so they have found one location near the equator where these dinosaurs can inhabit the wild. And so we have individuals played by Scarlett Johansson, who plays Zora Bennett, who is hired by a character played by Rupert Friend, who plays Martin Krebs, who to go to this island to basically extract some DNA to help cure cancer or cure the world's diseases. So with the help of characters played by Mahershala Ali, who plays her friend Duncan, as well as people played like Jonathan Bailey, who plays Dr. Henry Loomis. I wonder if that's a Halloween reference. They go to the island and they start to try to garner the DNA samples. Well, there is a family for some reason in this movie that kind of gets stranded and becomes part of the adventure of this movie of Jurassic World Rebirth. And it's another Jurassic World movie, but it is written by David Koepp, who wrote the original first 2 movies. And yeah, it's a big budget Hollywood movie for the summer, directed by Gareth Edwards. Okay, so Jurassic, the franchise. Jurassic Park, considered one of the most influential action sci-fi thrillers of all time, directed by Steven Spielberg. The other films have not been very good. I think, they've been very quality. Jurassic World's fine, even though it's a nostalgia of the movie. Jurassic Park 3 is fine, even though it has a talking velociraptor. And Jurassic Park is a fine movie for the first half, but the other 2 we do not talk about because they are terrible movies. But Gareth Edwards being brought on is a very talented director when it comes to visuals. I think his original movie Monsters is a really interesting movie, characters notwithstanding. I think Godzilla and of course The Creator are really kind of interesting visual movies without the character arcs withstanding. Rogue One, of course, had Tony Gilroy help him out. So Jurassic World Rebirth, all I wanted from this movie, all I was expecting from this movie is to at least have a sense of scale, to have a sense of wonder, to go back to what made Jurassic Park interesting, which is just the nature of like this habitat, this world that we don't fully understand, that we create monsters out of illogical reasonings, and is very much a play into how we want to create because we don't have the logical ability to understand what we're creating. And it's very much talked about in this movie by Loomis, how we are a species that is very smart but do very dumb things. But with a movie directed by Gareth Edwards, with people like Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, with having a kind of a new cast, yeah, I was looking forward to this movie. I mean, it wasn't my most anticipated movie, but I was looking forward to it. And with that said, from honest review, I'm quite surprised that people are not liking this movie. I understand why they're not liking it, but I kind of am surprised after what Jurassic World Dominion and Fallen Kingdom did. I'm not saying Fallen Kingdom didn't have some really interesting ideas in the second half, and the first half we'll not talk about. But I think this movie gets closest, and I think it's, unfortunately with the help of David Koepp, who I'm not the biggest fan of, with getting the closest to what the original did, which is a sense of wonder, a sense of interesting excitement, and creating what made Jurassic Park nostalgic, which is what happens when monsters are loose and how do you handle that situation when you're put in the predicament that you should not be in. And I think the movie, with all its flaws, is just that. I think this is the second best Jurassic movie of the entire franchise, to be fairly honest. That's a low bar to rise from, but I think it does just enough. I think it's just interesting enough that it really contains what made Jurassic Park really interesting. But the thing about Jurassic Park that this movie doesn't have is those have interesting characters. Those have well-rounded characters. They have the help of Steven Spielberg, who is very good at creating really interesting dynamic worlds in those characters. And I don't think people like Zora or Duncan or Loomis or the kids or the father or any of the characters, Ed Skrein's in this movie, I don't think he's very interesting. They're all very flat characters, very undimensional characters, and I think that hampers from this being a truly epic movie. as much as I hate Jurassic World's franchise, I do think the characters in Jurassic World were much more interesting than what are presented here. I think as much as I don't like what they did with Bryce Dallas Howard's character and the wearing heels and stuff like that, I think Chris Pratt was just charismatic enough. I think she's just fun enough. I think having, Vincent D'Onofrio and, all these other characters in it, I think that those characters were much more interesting. But the story arc, the storyline, it just felt stupid and rote. And there were so many member berries that it was just like, I get it. And here, the member berries are not as... they're prevalent. There are very much iconic scenes that are kind of aped upon. And I think it takes those member berries and does a much better spin on what was done before. But it still has that problem of like, it's not its own thing. It's still trying to be like Jurassic Park. And I think that's unfortunate because once again, the family in this doesn't need to be in this movie. It's like we're adding in, this whole entire family is on a trip and they should know better than going near this island that is quarantined and not supposed to be involved, anybody going near it. But some reason we have to have kids in this movie in peril because that's what the Jurassic franchise is doing. That's what happened in Jurassic Park and Lost World and Jurassic World and Jurassic Park 3 and all these movies. There's kids in peril. And I think it's like a mandate for this franchise to do that. And I don't know. I'm so conflicted on just the story arcs of this movie that it does hamper the movie a lot. And I understand why people don't like it for that reason. But what makes this movie really fun and entertaining is what Gareth Edwards is known for doing, which is taking that sense of wonder, taking that sense of scope. Like there's a scene where these dinosaurs with long tails is like introduced, and it has that wonder of like when the big Brontosaurus or Brachiosaurus was introduced in the first movie, and like the look and the feel. And yes, the visual CGI is a little kind of hit or miss. But I like those things. I like the wonder of like the scenes with the T-Rex in this movie and like a good comparison point to what the T-Rex scene did in Jurassic Park. And that really makes me happy because, I go into Jurassic Park movies or Jurassic World movies wanting a sense of adventure, wanting a sense of fun. I think that's what Gareth Edwards is known for doing and doing very well. It hits home very, very good at what he's capable of doing. As much as you may hate the creator, you can't deny that it had a great sense of scale to it. When they're going to the pterodon or pterodactyl pit or whatever it's called, and they're trying to extract like the DNA substance, and they're being attacked by these pterodons or pterodactyls or whatever, and like that sense of just a scale of how small they are compared to these dinosaurs. And there's a scene with some velociraptors that's a really cool scene where it gives you a sense of like the horror elements of what Jurassic is known for doing when it comes to its franchise. And I think that Gareth Edwards gets the biggest sense of what that is capable of doing. I think he's worked in this scale just long enough that he knows exactly what he needs. Is something that Colin Trevorrow really wasn't capable of doing because he went from a small film to a straight big film. But at least Gareth Edwards has had the kind of small, he went from a very career where it was like, he went from that to Godzilla, which was, a big scale movie, but he kind of leaned up and went forward and forward and forward. And it really shows, and I really have a really good appreciation for that. So I think the movie struggles under its story. I think it struggles under kind of where it goes. I think some of the deaths in this movie are kind of not well constructed and kind of are just like, okay, I guess cool. It does have member berries, a lot of member berries, but I think they're at least interesting. I think the new dinosaurs, the justification of what they are is a really interesting idea. Whether it's like executed remains to be seen. But I think overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I know a lot of people did from the mystery movie because it was a mystery movie. I think a lot of people really felt this was really underwhelming. But like I said, if you really like Jurassic World but you hate this movie, I'm kind of why? But I think Jurassic World tries to do what this movie actually accomplishes. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. I really enjoyed this movie. It's my second in this franchise when it comes to rankings. And it's definitely an entertaining movie for what it's doing. Though somebody was sleeping and snoring next to me, I still think it's a great movie for what it's worth. A good summer popcorn film. There you go. Anyways, with that said, that's going to be my take on Jurassic World Rebirth, which will be in theaters during the holiday season. But yeah, there you go. That's my take. So anyways, thank you so much for watching my review. I do appreciate it. In the comments below, where do you rank the Jurassic franchise? Did you see this during the mystery movie? What did you think overall? If you hated it, It's fine. I don't agree, but you know, it is what it is. But let me know in the comments. So with that said, thank you so much. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.